All right. All right. Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Double honor to the apostles and the others of GreatMillStone. And salutations to all like my dear pushing his truth and all truth and sincerity diligently throughout the four corners. All right. I'm the brother Shamar Moth from GreatMillStone, Miami. Coming to you, Akim, with another quick lesson. Lord's will this lesson be salutations to all like my dear pushing. Lord's will this lesson be edifying to the flock. All right. Again, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, double honor to the apostles, the elders. Salutations to the brothers out there pushing truth and all truth and sincerity, man. As you see the title, it says the Samaritan woman at the well was not our people. All right. As of late, which I have the apostle Ariam Lav's video that he did earlier pinned to the description box. I also need to add the apostles sit down that they did, that New Year's Eve of destruction sit down that they did. But lately, there's been talks of, dudes talking about how, who was, I believe, the centurion that, that had the servant at the house that got healed was an Edomite. And it just goes to show, that these individuals, these other Israelite camps, pseudo Israelite groups, all right, are not, they're not well versed and well scripted in the scriptures, man. The scriptures talk about studying to show thyself approved, all right, and scriptures talk about rightly dividing the word of truth, man. And when you go into that, when you go into what it means to rightly divide the word of truth, it basically goes into how you have to be 100% accurate, all right, and to say such thing, all right, is not accurate. All right, now the Apostle Tahar had basically said, what say ye? All right, what say you? Speaking to us, our brothers of GreatMillStone, when it comes to, these certain characters or figures that appear in the Bible. All right, Cornelius, was he an Israelite? Cornelius was an Israelite, man. The Syrophoenician woman, she was an Israelite. And the thing is, that's so crazy. You could tell when you're reading these accounts, you could tell who's an Israelite and who's not just from the conversation that the Lord had with these individuals. All right. Or for instance, Cornelius had his running with Peter. From that conversation and from the context that was in the scriptures, you could tell this man was an Israelite. All right. The centurion, all right, or that came to Yahawashi, I guess the one that he said, let me see if I can find it so I won't butcher it. But the one who was a ruler, he was involved. Yahawashi was like, I come to you. He's like, nah, just say the word. I'm one that's over men as well. All right, and I tell them to go and they go. I tell them to come, they come. All right, and Yahawashi commended him, man. Right? You could tell that individual is also an Israelite. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Right? The Syrophoenician woman, from the dialogue and the conversation that she had with the Lord, all right, you can also tell that she was an Israelite. So for and even with the woman at the well, which we're about to get into, all right, you could tell that she was an Israelite just off the conversation. So for these individuals to say such things just shows that, the spirit is not, resonating with them, because to the holy, these things are plain, man. All right, it's easy to be understood if the Lord Yahawah is dealing with you. All right, but if the Lord isn't, you're gonna fall short in your understanding, man. That's why the scriptures tell us, with all that get understanding. All right, let me see what I can find. Where is it? I believe it might be in Luke. Yep. Yep. Luke 7. Let me share my screen real quick. We're gonna start there. All right. Let's go to Luke 7. We'll start there. All right, this is the book of Luke, chapter 7. And let's red letter this. Let's just start from the top. All right. Luke 7:1. It says, now when he had ended all his sayings in the audience of the people, he entered into Capernaum, and a certain centurion servant who was dear unto him was sick and ready to die. Okay. So let me just make sure the stream's still up and running. All right, yep. All right, it says Luke 7:2 again. It says, and a certain centurion servant who was dear unto him was sick and ready to die. And when he heard of Yahawashi, he sent unto him the elders of the Jews, beseeching him that he would come and heal his servant. And when they came to Yahawashi, they besought him instantly, saying that he was worthy for whom he should do this. For he loveth our nation, and he hath built us a synagogue. Then Yahawashi went with them, and when he was now not far from the house, the centurion sent friends to him, saying unto him, Lord, trouble not thyself, for I am not worthy that thou shouldest enter under my roof. Wherefore neither thought I myself worthy to come unto thee, but say in a word, and my servant shall be healed. So we see the centurion sent his friends to stop Yahawashi on the way. Yahawashi was about near the house. And he stopped him. He said, look, I'm not even worthy of you entering into under my roof. I don't even feel worthy to be physically in your presence. That's why I send my friends. All you gotta do is say the word, Lord, and I know my servant gonna be healed. That's a man, that's an Israelite right there. Just off that conversation. You could tell he has faith. You could tell he's been waiting on the Messiah, and you could tell he believes that Yahawashi is capable and has the power to heal, man. All right. Just like when you read when you read of Cornelius, he was giving alms to the church. He was doing his just due. He was a devout man, praying, fasting, because he believed in the Lord, man. The Syrophoenician woman, the conversation she had, man. All right, when Yahawashi said, it's not meat for him to give the children's bread to the dogs, and she was like, just give the dogs a little crumb. All right, shit. I know, may not be what it is I'm supposed to be in the sense of being as the Jews. I might be a Gentile, but spare me some. I'm an Israelite too. And Yahawashi said, you got it. All right. Come on, man. It's very simple. It says, for I also am a man set under authority, having under me soldiers, and I say unto one, go, and he goeth, and to another, come, and he cometh, and to my servant, do this, and he doeth it. When Yahawashi heard these things, he marveled at him, and turned him about, and said unto the people that followed him, I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. All right. So again, this individual, the centurion and the servant, all right, were Israelites. And another reason why you could tell you could tell for sure that the centurion and the servant was Israelites, man. When you go watch the apostles sound lesson, okay, Apostle Rawchaa, he was there, he was with them. All right, it reminded me of back in the days, the end of the world. sit downs before they went out to camp. But he was there and he mentioned Isaiah the 14th chapter, which was spot on. It was it was on point. Which I'll read real quick. So I find it. Let me see into Israel. Yep. Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord Yahawah will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. All right, so just off that line alone, the fact that this centurion had such great faith for his servant, all right, and the Lord did such thing and healed him, because as you go on, it'll tell you the servant was whole, all right, was found whole, all right, he was healed, all right. It's because why? There were Israelites, man. There were Israelites, okay. Again, back in Isaiah 14 says, for the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, that was mercy shown, and will yet choose Israel. The reason why Cornelius was said that him and his household would be saved is because the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Rawchaa chose him, because he was an Israelite, him and his household. All right, it only makes sense. Now, going to the title of the lesson, man, the woman at the well, the Samaritan woman, she was not chosen. She was not selected. Again, in the conversation that she has with Yahawashi, you can see that there's such a sort of a disconnect with her in the conversation that she's having with the Lord, because the words that the Lord was speaking unto her, it wasn't resonating with her. It wasn't for her to get, because she is not our people, man. All right, if that makes sense. Now, before I get that, I just want to kind of segue to make mention of the Apostle Ariana's sit down that he did on it. Okay. Again, this link is in the description. All right, the apostle, I only got 8 minutes in, but the apostle, was doing his thing through spirit. But let's go to John the 4th chapter real quick. We're gonna start at verse 7. All right, let's red letter this. All right. This is John. Well, just to get a pretext of what's going on. Yahawashi was I believe he started in Jerusalem. He left Jerusalem and was heading towards Galilee. Okay, and he made a straight shot and went through Samaria. Okay, because when you look at a map, all right, when you look at a map of our homeland, okay, the quickest way to get to Galilee from Jerusalem is to go through Samaria. Okay, so let's jump to verse 7. It says, there cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Yahawashi saith unto her, give me to drink. For his disciples were gone all away into the city to buy meat. And usually the disciples were the ones who, ran these favors and tasks for the Lord. But at the moment, they were out about doing whatever business that they had to. As it says, they were in the city buying meat. So Yahawashi was basically by himself by this well. Okay, he was by himself by this well, man. So he asked the woman, the Samaritan woman, to draw water and let him get something to drink. Verse 9. Then said the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou, being a Jew, asketh drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. Right there, again, it's all in the conversation, man. You could actually see it. You could tell from just her reply that she was not an Israelite. Okay? She couldn't even tell that was the Lord. The Spirit wasn't on her. She couldn't peep. All right? She couldn't peep as compared to Israelites that we see in the scriptures, and and even Gentiles that believe in the Lord that we see in the scriptures. All right? Whenever the disciples turned apostles came around, they heard the voice. They felt the presence of Yahawashi. When Yahawashi appeared or walked around, they just sensed and felt the presence of the Lord. This dumbass hoe, she couldn't even peep. All right. Verse 10. Yahawashi answered and said unto her, if thou knewest the gift of the Most High, and who it is that saith to thee, give me to drink, thou wouldest have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. Right? So Yahawashi was like, man, if only you understood and knew the gift of God. What's the gift of the Most High? Faith. Right? If only you knew the gift of the Lord, and you knew who was standing in front of you asking for drink, you would ask of me to give you living waters, and I would give it to you. Okay, I would give you the life. All right, because the Yahawashi is the way, the truth, and the life, man. All right, she would have known that. All right, again, showing you that what? She was not an Israelite. All right, verse 11. The woman said unto him, Sir, how Salaki? The woman said unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well and drank thereof himself and his children and his cattle? Again, the conversation. I'm gonna keep saying that, man. It's in the conversation. You can actually see it. Okay. Verse 13 says, Yahawashi answered and said unto her, whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again, meaning the water of the well, man, right? Because it's just regular water. All right. You know how to get a well water. You dig deep, you hit a spring or whatever, and it comes up. All right, you let the water sit for a couple of months, weeks, days, however long, so that way all the settlement that's in it could sink to the bottom. Throw a couple of silver pieces in it to purify the water, and then you drink. Every time you get thirsty, you go to the well, you pull up a bucket, you drink because you're thirsty. All right, so Yahawashi that you drink of this water, you're gonna thirst again, right? But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall need to thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up unto everlasting life. Whoo! All right, you get this truth, man. All right, you get this, that this knowledge, this wisdom. All right, the understanding. Okay, the woman saith unto him, Sir, give me this water that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. Yahawashi saith unto her, Go and call thy husband and come hither. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Yahawashi said unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband, for thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou now hast is not thy husband, and that saying thou truly. The woman say, verse 19. The woman saith unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. And we're about to see, because I'm going to go through the history real quick, right? And we're about to see something come into play, man, to also further prove that she's not really the Israelite. All right. Yahawashi said unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh, and this is the point. This is the kicker here, man. All right. Women, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet in Jerusalem worship the Father. Why? Because she is not the people. It's not given to her to understand and know how to worship truly. Yahawah Bahasham is given to the Israelites. Okay? Ye worship, ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. Okay? Meaning the Israelites. All right? Okay? But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him. The true worshipers, the Israelites, man. The Israelites. All right. God is a spirit, the Most High is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. Okay. And that's the point on this, man. But you can see in the conversation again, in the dialogue that the woman was having with the Lord, man. You could tell there's hella hints and hella evidence, all right, that she is not an Israelite. Now, where is the land of Samaria? One may ask. It is north of Jerusalem. That is where the northern kingdom had once inhabited. What happened to the northern kingdom? This would have to take you back into history to figure out what happened to the northern kingdoms, the 10 tribes, right? And why this woman is now there, man. Now let's go to this website. It's called Founders Ministry, founders.org. This is in the description. We're just gonna get straight to the point. It says the Samaritan woman finding the water of life. All right. Yep. Let me see. Let's just get straight to the point. You brothers could read this if you want to pause it and read it, or go to the website and read it. But we're gonna go to the second paragraph from that subheader. All right, a remarkable setting. Look closer. However, it turns out that many details in this picture are enormously significant. In the first place, this was Jacob's well, located on the plot of land well known to students of the Old Testament. It was a field that Jacob purchased so that he could pitch his tent in the land of Canaan. He built an altar on the site to the power of Israel. This very field was first inhabited. This very field was the first inhabitable piece of real estate recorded in scriptures that any Israelite ever owned in the promised land. Abraham had previously purchased the field of Ephron, which contained a cave that became his and Sarah's burial place. But this property eventually became Jacob's home base. Reminds us that this was the same parcel of ground Jacob deeded to his favorite son, Joseph. It later became the very place where Joseph's bones were finally put to rest. Remember that when Moses left Egypt, he took Joseph's coffin. The Israelites carried Joseph's remains around with them for 40 years in the wilderness. On one of their first acts after conquering the promised land was to finally intermit was the final interment of those bones. This was all done at Joseph's own behest. The Israelites To the Israelites, the tale of Joseph's bones was a significant reminder of God's faithfulness. The well that was on the property was not mentioned in the Old Testament, but its location was well established in Yahawashi's day by centuries of Jewish tradition, and the site remains a major landmark even today. The well is very deep, accessible only by a very long rope through a hole dug through a slab of soft limestone. All right, it goes into the well. Try to get straight to the point. All right, let's start here. In Yahawashi's era, that plot of ground lay in where Samaritan territory. And this is another surprising and significant detail about the setting in John 4. For Yahawashi to be in Samaria at all was unusual. And the reason why, before we keep going, we're going to highlight this so I know where I stop. The reason why it was so unusual, now we're going to jump to this article that I found. It says Church of, you know what that says. All right. Now let's go over here. And under this subheader, which it says the fall of the northern kingdom. All right. 2 Kings 17:24 through 41, the beginning of the Samaritans. Sometime after the 10 tribes of Israel were taken away into captivity, and they were, let's prove that. This is 2 Kings 15-29. In the days of Pekah, all right, king of Israel, came Tiglath-Pileser or Pileser, king of Assyria, and took Ijon or Ijon or Ijon Salakia, and Abel Beth Makkah, and Jonah or Genoa, and Qadash, and Hazor and Gilead, and Galilee, all the land of Naphtali, and carried them captive to Assyria. All right. So the realm of the northern kingdom was taken away, all right, by Tiglath-Pileser, all right, which he ruled from 745 to 727 BC. Okay, he had taken the northern kingdom away. Not too long after he did that, all right, because there were several campaigns to remove the northern kingdom out of the land, man. Okay, there were several. All right, after that happened, okay, in 2 Kings the 18th chapter, all right, we see Shalmaneser besiege Samaria. All right, Tiglath-Pileser took a handful of northern kingdom away, and Shalmaneser, all right, king of Assyria at the time, all right, or Sargon. Well, I believe was it Sargon? Sometimes that give me one moment. Now right here it says Shalmaneser. I have Sargon in my notes as well, because Sargon did a right. Okay. Give me one moment. Right. Okay. That's what it is. All right. So Tiglath-Pileser was the first wave that came against the Northern Kingdom. All right. Shalmaneser was the second wave. All right. As we read right here in 2 King 18 and 9, it says, and it came to pass in the 4th year of King Hezekiah, which was the 7th year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, that Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, came up against Samaria and besieged it. And at the end of 3 years, they took it. Even in the 6th year of Hezekiah, that is the 9th year of Hoshea, king of Israel, Samaria was taken. All right. And the king of Assyria did carry away Israel unto Assyria and put them in Halah and in Habar by the river of Gozan, and in the cities of the Medes. All right. So that was the second wave. And that what I got here on my notes. All right, it says because I believe Sargon came after Shalmaneser. He succeeded Shalmaneser. All right. It says in 1720 BCE by the hand of Sargon II, because he reigned 721 to 705. Okay, the 10 tribes of Israel, which is the northern kingdom, by then there were no more. All right, so by the time Sargon II came through, he completely you know, completely removed the remainders. All right, saved a few stragglers. Okay, all right. It says the 10 tribes of Israel was no more. Sargon even boasted by saying, Samaria, I looked at it, 27,200 men who dwelt in it, I carried away into Assyria. That was his actual quote. Okay, so the conquering and the taking away of the northern kingdom came in 3 parts. Okay, so after that, that's where we get Second Ezra, the 13th chapter at. Okay, in the 40th verse. All right, it says what? Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea, the king, whom Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters. So they came into another land. All right, and then after that, they made the Northern Kingdom made the pact that they would go to a land, country far away called Arsareth, which is over here in America, which is America. All right, and they came over here. All right, that's where the natives, you Seminole Indians, you Latin tribes. That's how you got here. All right, you are the true children of Israel. All right, you are the Northern Kingdom. Okay, and you came over here after you were taken away out of your homeland, which was the land of Samaria at the time. Man, the Northern Kingdom were the one who lived and dwelt in that land. All right, and the Assyrians took you away captive, and from going away in captivity to into the land of Assyria, y'all left and came over here this side. Okay, so quick history on that part. Now, the reason why I bring this out, right, is after the Northern Kingdom were taken out of their land, what did those heathens do? Okay, what did the heathens do? 2 Kings 17:24, cities of Israel filled with strangers, and the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Kutha, all right, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Seth Harvim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof. Okay. So that going back to that first article, that's why it was unusual. It seemed unusual for the Lord in their eyes to be walking through Samaria. Going back to the second article. All right. After some time, the 10 tribes of Israel were taken into captivity. Assyria moved some of its own people into the area formerly occupied by the Israelites. When the new residents failed to prosper, the king of Assyria sent an Israelite priest to the area to instruct the people in the worship of, they say, Jehovah, what we know is the Most High, because the land was tearing them niggas up, man. All right, though it was liberally mixed with paganism of Assyria. All right, now that mixing going on. Okay, and then it quotes, I believe, I don't know what is this? Okay, it quotes 2 Kings, which we read. Okay, it says living as they did in Samaria and in and its environ enviro environness, these new occupants of the land became known as Samaritans. So those are who the Samaritans really were, man. They were the those heathens that came and lived in our land, all right, and had to be taught how to how to move properly. And from the stranglers that was there started to crossbreed, if you would say. All right, mixing of the nations happened. Okay, and that's where you had a lot of Gentiles popping up in the region as well, man. For that, from that, but nonetheless, that's why to the Jews, the Southern Kingdom, all right, it was kind of looked down upon going through Samaria because we had seen our brothers leave, get taken away, and then it was like, who are you niggas? You get what I'm saying? Who are you motherfuckers trying to act like y'all are people, man? All right. Okay. All right. It says eventually the intermarriage of the Syrian settlers with those stragglers who had survived the captivity, not all Israelites were removed, caused the Samaritans to claim Israelite covenant blessings. You see, it caused them the Samaritans, again, who are the Samaritans? Those that moved to the land of Samaria off the the decree of the king of Assyria, man. All right. Those Samaritans, they claimed, here it is, y'all not even our people, but then y'all want to claim our blessings, man. All right. Come on, fuck out of here. And that's what that woman that well was doing, man. Talking about, oh, our fathers worshipped here, and oh, this and that, and oh, you're not us. You can't be us. You wasn't us. All right. It says the Jews of later years refused to accept this claim because the Samaritans' Gentile blood and pagan religious tendencies. All right. This refusal led to the increasing hostility between the Jews and the Samaritans that was evident in the time of Yahawashi. All right. The Jews simply refused to associate with their Samaritan neighbors. Okay. Now going back to that first article, right? It says, picking up from where I left off, it says Yahawashi, for Yahawashi to be in Samaria at all was unusual. The Samaritans were considered unclean by the Israelites. Yahawashi was traveling from Jerusalem to Galilee, and a look at any map, you can read that. Alternate route. All right, start here. It says Samaritans were a mixed race people descended from pagans who had intermarried with a few remaining Israelites after the Assyrian conquered. So, like after the Syrians conquered the northern kingdom, 722 BC. Okay, it says in earlier, so like as early as Nehemiah's time, the 5th century BC. So like the mid 5th century BC, the Samaritans pose a serious threat to the purity of Israel. Secular history records that Nehemiah's main nemesis, uh, San Sanballat, was an early governor of Samaria. Which, when you go read who this dude was, all right, he was from he was not even a Israelite, man. He was one of those that were placed in that place, in Samaria, I should say. Okay, it says by the 1st century, the Samaritans had a distinct culture built around a uh, a sin syncretic religion, blending aspects of Judaism and rank paganism. All right, and again, you can continue to read uh, the rest of this if you please. But I wanted to, I brought all those points out just to show and prove that that's why this woman was talking how she was. That's why she was even there. If you want to go all the way back to her, whoever her father's father was, her father's father was not an Israelite, was not Northern Kingdom. He was brought over there by a decree of the Assyrian king. That nigga mixed and mangled with our people, tried to carry himself to be like an Israelite, all right? Like he was Northern Kingdom, like he was Israelite, all right? From doing that, of course, you're going to have to hear our history. You're going to have to go through what we know. And then years down the line, you get this goofy want to sit here and act like she's all holier than thou, man. Okay? But again, she wasn't an Israelite, man. You know, I just wanted to bring all that out to prove that point. All right, hopefully this was edifying. All right, with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash, the honor to the apostles and the others of GreatMillStone, citations to Allah, that pushing the truth and all truth and sincerity diligently throughout four corners. Shalom.